We have got a lot to get through on this episode. I'm going to go through my pickups over the last week, visiting various CEX stores, searching for PS3 essentials, PS4 hits, and anything else we come across that's nice. Then I'm going to vlog my way through completing my first ever PlayStation 3 title. I'll leave it for a surprise later in the video of what that title is going to be. We'll sort of vlog our way through it, just do highlights of completing the game, and then I'll summarise with my thoughts. And then I'm going to return to CEX in Worcester and bring you along with me for that on a game hunt to go there and pick up a game that I didn't pick up the other day, which I've later found out is quite an uncommon one. And I'm going to go and pick that up and I'll bring you along with me for that. And then we'll conclude just going through what N64 games coming next on Mission N64239, which game I'm going to complete next on my journey to complete all 239 UK PAL N64 games. Let's go. Hello YouTube, N60 Fortress here, I'm back. Thanks for tuning in again as always, it's very much appreciated. Doing a slightly different kind of vloggy type episode on this one this week. I've been out and about to quite a few different CEXs, but I haven't been able to film as much. A lot of those CEXs I went on a bank holiday Monday before I was heading to a wedding, and so I didn't have much time. I just wanted to dart in and out of these CEXs, have a look round, and on my way to a destination where I was going really, and so I couldn't spend too much time filming. I did get some footage inside the stores, but not enough really to sort of do what I usually do, but I'll overlay footage as and when I come to it as I discuss what happened on those trips. And I also went to a CEX this morning after park run as well and had a little bit of a result there, so we'll go through all of these things one at a time then. So first of all, I went to Northfield CEX. I kind of worked my way through Birmingham. I was heading towards the Tamworth way for a wedding, and it's quite bizarre. I don't really go to Tamworth very often, and then I ended up going there twice in a week, once for go-karting and then once on a wedding, which was on the peripheral of Tamworth. But yeah, so first of all, I went to Northfield, and I picked up Pro Evolution Soccer 6 on the PS2. Now, I'm after a few more PS2 games just to sort of make this a full row. I was a massive Pro Evolution Soccer fan, Pro Evolution Soccer 2 onwards really. I started off playing FIFA like 2003, and the last one I had was 2004, but Pro Evo took over. I saw it in there for £1, and I just thought, why not? Fully complete with manual. And yeah, it's not one I played really. The last Pro Evo I played on the PS2 generation was Pro Evo 5, and then the next Pro Evolution Soccer I got was maybe even like 2008, 2009 or something like that, 2009, 10 maybe even. And I had a short break really. What I was doing was not interested in playing video games really. I was out and about, interested in other things that young gentlemen are at that age sort of thing. And yeah, just playing video games wasn't so much of a thing, but the Pro Evolution Soccers that I played before and that I returned to were some of the best. And this one with Adriano on the front, shot power 99, sort of cheat code. Yeah, I thought I couldn't resist that for £1. So looking forward to putting that on and having a little go of it. Hopefully have a game against my brother as well and seeing what that one is like. Ibrahimovic is clean through from Adriano. Oh, Ibrahimovic! Come on! Adriano assist. Cheeky chip over the keeper. I also picked up a copy of Destiny on the PS4. You will have already seen that, and I used that to do the case transplant for the Little Big Planet 3. It cost me £1. Obviously, the Little Big Planet 3 didn't cost me anything in the end because I got it fully reimbursed on Vinted, so it only cost me £1 in the end, so really happy with that. That goes in the PS4 hits collection. And that was pretty much it for Northfield. There wasn't an awful lot else that I was looking for. So then I headed on to King's Heath, which was the next sort of stint on my journey through Birmingham. So yeah, and in King's Heath, there wasn't an awful lot either. There was no PS4 hits I needed. There was no PS3 essentials that I needed. They did have a few in, but all just fairly common ones that I've already got. But what I did see was this awesome Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And it's the Omega edition, which I already have. It's only charged at the standard price of £6. This is what it looks like. This is my copy. I don't actually have it anymore, so we're recording this almost a week after the fact that I purchased it, and it's already sold on eBay. So I bought it for £6, and it was complete with the map and the sort of art book that comes with it, and it was in really fabulous condition. The cardboard was really nice, hence me picking up and not leaving it behind. And I put it on eBay. It was on for £18.50 originally, all in. I sent an offer just to see if anyone was tempted because I had a couple of watchers and the offer was accepted for £17.50 with postage. They have to pay a buyer protection fee, so they ended up paying just over £18.50 or something like that. They paid. I received £17.50, but then it deducts the postage, which is like £3. I ended up getting just over £14 for it, and so when you deduct the £6 that I paid for it, I ended up making about an £8 profit. And I know it's not an awful lot, it's nothing to write home about, but what it does do is mean that everything else that I purchased on the day did not cost me anything. And you know, part of this journey is about being cute, and I know there's people have a certain feeling about resellers and so on, and it's not something we all enjoy, especially when you're collecting things like PS3 Essentials and people are clearly reselling it for a premium. Sometimes you have to do these things on this journey to help fund the collection. It's not a cheap journey that you're on doing this. And the other thing is, if you didn't pick that up, somebody else will. So I have no regrets there. I was happy to buy that, flip it, and it means everything that I picked up on that day did not cost me anything. So yes, I got the Pro Evo and the Destiny from Northfield. Then I went to King's Heath, and they only had Assassin's Creed Odyssey really that was anything there to tempt me really. Then I went on to Acox Green CEX, and unfortunately, again, they didn't really have any hits or essentials that I was looking for, that I needed. What they did have was Lego Marvel Adventures on the PS4, £6. It's got the Lego sleeve. It's one of the sleeved variants of the Lego games that I'm collecting. I think this is my 8th now. There's 11 altogether, so that leaves 3 left to get. And yeah, like I said on one of my previous videos, it's getting more difficult to find these sleeved versions out in the wild. I don't know whether people are collecting them, but yeah, it's just getting harder. And they actually had 2. They also had the Incredibles, but I've already got that, and it wasn't the best condition anyway. It wasn't bad, but it just weren't the best. But this is actually quite good condition. So to find this in the wild for £6, really happy. It's another one into the collection. And like I said, because I've flipped that Odyssey, this and the Pro Evo have not cost me anything on the day. It's cost me a bit of my time to go hunting, but other than that, really pleased to add this one to the collection. I'll de-sticker it after this video, and yeah, really happy with that. Next up, I've got a few online purchases to go through. Obviously, part of this journey I'm trying to do out in the wild. Obviously, we'd all like to do it in CEX and using vouchers and so on, but some of it has to be done online. That's, you know, not all games you're going to find in the wild. And so, yeah, let's go through what I picked up online. This lovely copy of Homefront Ultimate Edition, fully complete with the correct disc and manual. It's another PS3 Essentials one ticked off. It came up on eBay. I think I chucked an offer just over £7, and I looked on eBay and it's not one that I could see. I suppose I can't keep saying this, that if it's not on eBay or not in eBay sold, then it must be rare, but it's certainly uncommon, isn't it? And it seems to me that there's quite a lot of these games that they're not rare, but they are uncommon, which means they're not up for sale very often, and you don't see them in CEX very often in the Essentials range. So when I saw it, I just chucked an offer and I thought I'd be happy to pay that. And to my delight, they accepted. And so it's another one ticked off, and it actually looks like quite a good game. I'll put some footage on overlay. I'm looking forward to firing this one up, and it's always nice when you pick up games on this set journey that you're on, that you look like you're interested in playing and you want to play, because obviously as a gamer as well, you actually want to experience some of these things. It's not solely about collecting. You do actually want to enjoy some of your collection in the form of playing the games. So yeah, looking forward to having a go on this one, and for £7, what is seemingly an uncommon one, happy with that. Then I picked up Resident Evil 7 in the PS4 hits. Got this for a mere £6. Believe that's CEX price or slightly under. It's certainly not over. So to get it for £6 all in delivered, you can't really go wrong with that. I've actually got this game already, but I bought the standard version myself many years ago when it came out. Huge fan of the Resident Evil franchise, and I quite like what they did with this game really. They slowed the pace down a bit, made it more scary, and it's actually like a really good game. I've only beaten it once, but I remember feeling very satisfied when I'd completed the game. It's, like I said, it's a slower pace, but it's a rewarding game once you get through, and it's quite scary, you know. There's times where you're walking through rooms, narrow corridors, and it's literally pitch black. You can't see a thing, and you can say, well, that's a good thing, you can't see anything. But all of a sudden, bit of moonlight through the window and you see something, it's like, oh my God, yeah. So they made this, they took the franchise in a different direction with this one, but I thought it was pretty good. It was scary, and you're walking around and you haven't got copious amounts of bullets. They're quite tight. You've only got like a couple of bullets to survive. So you've got to use your ammo sparingly and so on. So I just thought it was a pretty good game all in all, and delighted to add it in the hits range. Will I get rid of my original? I don't know. I'm not always about having duplicates, but I might make an exception for this one because I've got a lot of Resident Evils on the PS4, and there'll be a gaping hole in my PS4 games if I get rid of Resident Evil 7. So I might just keep both on this occasion, given it wasn't very expensive. And look how great that looks on the red spine, by the way. They do actually look really good. You know, I think, you know, imagine if the whole library was just we'd been all sorts of trouble because you have to collect the whole library rather than 60 odd games. But yeah, I think they look really great. So yeah, really pleased to add this one to the collection. Then I picked up Dynasty Warriors 8, the complete edition in the PS4 hits. I saw this one come up. It's English. And I remember speaking to somebody recently who's a viewer of the channel, reached out to me and kindly sent me a list. And they mentioned to me that this was one of the last games that they managed to find on their PS4 hits full set journey. And so I had it in the back of my mind that this is probably one that I want to get out of the way sooner than not. And it just came up on eBay. It was brand new and sealed. Unfortunately, when you buy sealed games, you are going to pay more. It cost me £30, and only time will tell if that was a good price or not. Ideally, I would rather have an open copy. I'm not a sealed collector when it comes to these sort of games, but I'm not going to turn down sealed games when they come up if it means I might not see another one for a while. Obviously, if I find an open copy, I'll probably buy that if it's a fair price, and then look to move this on because I'm not a sealed collector. I'd rather be able to play them. But yeah, given it's one that you don't see very often in the hits range in English, to have a new and sealed copy, it seems pretty good. I was really pleased that sometimes these newer PlayStation sort of games, PS3, PS4, the disc rattles around even though it's sealed, and that's really like, I really don't like that. It's so annoying when a game's sealed but it's become detached, and it's quite a common thing to occur, I believe. But yeah, this one's still in place, fortunately, so all the better for that. And yeah, really happy to add this seemingly rare PS4 hits game into the collection. So that's another one down. And then just two more games to go through. We've added quite a few, haven't we, really? And I went to Parkrun this morning at Worcester, and then I headed to Worcester CEX to have a look around. Had a look in cash converters as well. Nothing, unfortunately, that was for me. But I went into CEX, and normally there's not a lot there in terms of what I'm looking for, essentials or hits. I have had purchases there before, and it's been great, but the last couple of times it's just been the same old stuff, no seemingly new stuff in. But what it goes to show is, if you're ever thinking, oh, I'm not going to bother going because they probably won't have anything, it's probably worth going because that's probably the time that they will have something and you're going to miss out on it. You know, I guess consistency is key with CEX. You go, and like I had some of them visits the other week where you don't necessarily find anything. It's the one time you don't go, and you probably should have. That's when all the stuff's there. So you got to try and just keep being consistent, keep heading down, and you never know what you might find. So what did I find then? Just sat there on the shelf, Dark Souls, PS3 Essentials, English. It's already been de-stickered. It's £8. The reason why it hasn't got a sticker on, the case was slightly cracked. But like I said before, I'm not going to sort of turn away a game just because the case is cracked. But I've done a transplant with a game that I'm going to show you in a minute. And yeah, other than that, it had the correct disc. It's got the manual. So really happy to get this in the collection. It's another one ticked off, another one found in the wild. And even though the case was cracked, the actual inlay is perfect. So it's another one found in the wild. Really happy with that. And another one ticked off on this sort of seemingly large journey at the moment. But we're definitely making inroads, aren't we? So I also picked up Shadow of Mordor, Middle Earth, and the PS4 hits. Nice and cheap, £4. That's what we like. Nice cheap one. There's no manual, but I don't believe it came with one from what I've seen. It's importantly English, lovely red spine, another one ticked off. I don't know anything about this game. If you've got any comments on any of these games that I showed you, please let me know if you've played them before, because I'm interested to hear about them. But yeah, like I said, I haven't played any of them before, so let me know if you've got any comments on them. And yeah, it's nice to get another hits game in the wild. Did also see Yakuza 0 in the PS4 hits range, but it's one that I see quite often, so I decided not to pick it up on the day. I was happy with the 2 that I picked up. I didn't want to spend too much of my own money when I got a fairly big voucher coming, and it makes sense to use that. So Yakuza 0 is one that you see fairly often, so I thought I'd leave that and pick it up another time. And I also did see Dynasty Warriors 9, I think it was. Put it on overlay now, but yeah, it was a foreign copy, so a bit annoying really, because it is quite a difficult one to come across as well, I believe. But yeah, because it was German, I think, I left it behind. I don't know enough about these to know if the foreign copies are rare as well. I know that the English copy is quite rare, and that's why my eyes lit up when I originally saw it, but because it's foreign, I decided to leave it behind. And yeah, it just goes to show that you do need to be careful, because always check the back in CEX, because they do accept foreign games. They don't really check. And it's not one that I would have wanted to walk home with. I'm not about having placeholders in foreign language and then hunting down the English version later. But I believe there is some value in those still, because it is still a hits game. The spine is still in English, so maybe I should have picked it up and tried to flip it or something like that. But I don't know enough about this field of the hits games and the foreign versions of them to have confidence and conviction that I'll actually make any money flipping it. So I decided to leave that one on the day. But yeah, really happy to tick another Essentials game off and another PS4 hits game on my trip to Worcester. So yeah, happy days. Right, last of all, I did a bulk purchase on Vinted. There was a job lot of PS3 games for sale, and they were this stack here. They were on for about £9, I think, for all this, £9 or £10. And my eyes just lit up because I put a few of them into CEX, and already I was quite a bit over what they were charging. So I chucked an offer over. I think I paid like £10 altogether or something like that. Might have been, yeah, I think I'll put it on the screen anyway. I paid about £10 for all of this. And I thought, great, right, that'll give me some cases that I can use to do case transplants if I need to. And it'll also mean I can get some, you know, voucher credit on this lot. So yeah, one of these cases I used to transplant to that Dark Souls that I picked up from Worcester, which was great. But yeah, this bundle has a lot of cheap fodder in there, but the ones that really stood out was this Skate 3 that trades in for £9, and so that was the sort of gem within this bundle really that helps make this worthwhile. That Tomb Raider's the one that I had before with the horrible dirty case, so that wasn't included in the bundle, but the rest were. But I'm going to trade that in anyway, even though it only goes in for a penny. And yeah, the total trade in for this, it's about £17-18. So whatever I paid, this ended up being about £8. I was clearing £8 profit in voucher, so it made sense to do this. I might not have quoted the exact figures, but I've made over £8 profit in voucher by trading this lot in. They are all in reasonable condition. I did actually take the manual out of this one because it came out in the Essentials range, and because I don't have it yet, I might come across it without manual. So because CEX don't distinguish between with or without manual for PS3, I know it seems harsh for me to do this and to incomplete a copy in the circular flow of game exchange, but I don't know if I'm going to come across that game in the future in the Essentials range without a manual, and I'll need it. So I took it out, and yeah, I don't feel guilty for doing it. I'm actually going to keep the Assassin's Creed 3 as a spare case, because I don't believe that trades in for a lot anyway. So I'm going to keep this as one extra spare case. And that leaves me with this lot to trade in. I trade this in and get about £8 profit on top of my money back. And that's in the form of a voucher, which I can use towards getting other Essentials and hits games on this journey. And yes, I also have that Deadpool to trade in. I'm just going to trade it in because I noticed there was a bit of a mark on the side of it as well. And I think that's the case I swapped. So that was the Dark Souls case. It's got a big crack in the top of it, but it was in the CEX system before. I've left the sticker on so they know it's one that they've had before. And yeah, these will all be going to CEX tomorrow morning and get me a nice voucher that I can use to carry on this journey. So yeah, now we've been through all the pickups, let's just have a bit of downtime and have a bit of gaming, shall we? Right then guys, I'm just entering a moment of brief downtime now, and I'm gonna have a little bit of a time to game. And yeah, if you're anything like me, you like playing your games as well as collecting them, for sure. And it suddenly occurred to me that, you know, there's some games here that I picked up a while ago, early doors on the channel, really. One of my first pickup videos, I think, really, relatively, in terms of non-N64 content at least. The Saw games. And yeah, it occurred to me that I haven't really put any time into them yet, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to play the Saw game, the first Saw game. And I was a relatively keen fan of the film franchise. I thought it was pretty good. It did get exhausted quite a bit towards the end. I don't think I've even seen the latest one, or if it's even out yet. I believe there is another one coming if it's not out already. And yeah, we're just going to put a bit of time in then to play the first Saw game and enjoy the games we've got, really. And give it a blast on this sort of new red PS3 that I've got, that I haven't really had time to have a good go on yet. So I'm looking forward... Ooh, nearly dropped that. Looking forward to having a good go on this then. So I'll let you know how I get on. I've got my Lemsip to hand because I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. Not brutally, just got a bit of a snotty nose. But yeah, let's get into Saw then, and I'll let you know how I get on with this. Looking forward to it. Right then, guys, we just escaped this helmet here, which is like a common piece of equipment used in Saw films. It sort of expands and totally blows your head apart if you don't get it off in time. But look at this. There's a little foot in there with a blunt saw. So someone's been owned, a bit like the first film. What's weird about that is the guy hacks his own foot off, and then all along he didn't have to. I thought this was pretty cool. There's basically a padlock you need to escape the room. That's the second objective. And yeah, looking around to find a code. So I started shutting these doors, and you realise there's blood prints on them. So you can see, I thought, oh, nice and easy. 1, 3, 4. They're just backwards. Nope. And then I thought, oh, look, there's a mirror behind. 4, 3, 1. Nice and easy. Went and put that in. Nope. And look at this. Isn't this cute? There's like little bits of blood over here that from a certain angle. 4, 3, 7. We'll try that. If this isn't it, then I'm in all sorts of trouble. So I've got no idea if it's not this. But I like this. A puzzle solving game that's fun, but not too difficult. You know, we haven't got all day to work these things out like we used to. Just simple but rewarding puzzles like this are quite fun. Reminds me a bit of Resident Evil, really. So let's see if this is the right combo. That's it. So rewarding and, yeah, enjoyable game so far. So we've escaped the room on this first level, and, yeah, I'm going to get back to it. Right then, guys, I've just finished the third chapter on this Saw game and really enjoying it. You know, it's really good. It holds up really well in 2025, I would say. Graphically, it looks good, but it's really captivating, and it feels like you are in the game against Jigsaw yourself, you know, if you've seen the films. And it's the actual voice of Kramer as well, which is quite spooky. I forget the actor's name now. And yeah, the puzzles are sort of not too tricky, but they definitely keep you thinking, on your toes, and there is propensity there to mess up as well, particularly because you're against the clock, much like in the films. You know, the clock's ticking and you've got to think fast and on your feet, and it's just, I'm really enjoying this game. Like, it was a great shout to have a playthrough on this. I'm not sure how many chapters there are. I've beaten 3 already, and yeah, let's just see what the rest of this story brings. I'm thoroughly enjoying it at the moment. I've just saved this woman's life here, and she was incredibly ungrateful, really, considering. She just gobbed off at me before I started filming, and yeah, let's carry on and see what we can do here. I'm having to do some late night shifts to get through this one, guys, and I have to say it's getting very late. It's past bedtime, and it just adds to the feel of this game, the vibe. It's so scary. I mean, you're walking around and it's so dark. I mean, we talked about Resident Evil 7 earlier and the impact of that game, but it real feels like you're playing in the Jigsaw game, like I said, and oh my god, this really, really adds to the feel and makes it even scarier. I mean, look at this dude here, just walking past and there's just a random dude mashing up a dead body, and you just come across things like this and you'll probably encounter that guy in a bit and have to fight it out with him in some sort of game. I mean, what the hell is the dude doing? But yeah, really enjoying this game, and yeah, I better get back to it, but wow, it's yeah, really immersive this, and yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Will twist until your body is broken to stop the device. You must complete the electrical circuit panel. If you do not complete the circuit in time, words will not be able to describe your agony.
Well, this guy gets it because I buckled under the time pressure. It's actually interesting to see what happens sometimes because they are quite funny, and it's actually more typical of what would happen in the film. Most people get owned. It's very rare that people defeat Jigsaw's puzzles, but I guess it wouldn't be a proper game if the aim was to let people die. And yeah, it's just, these puzzles look fairly straightforward, but under time pressure, not always the case. And yeah, what's interesting as well is there are actually trophies to unlock by letting things like that happen, just to see what happens. So yeah, all in all, very fun and not the easiest game. Oh, that was close.
Oh, man. Did it stop? Is it over?
Still here, still trapped. You just swapped shackles.
Right then guys, it's the next night and we're on to chapter 5 now. So we're getting towards the business end of this game, I think. I'm not sure how many chapters there are, but it feels like we're getting towards the end. Got to put a frozen hand in this furnace here, so let's see what happens. Gross. I guess it sort of melts and something happens. Oh, yeah. Melt the hand and then there's a key. Crematorium key. Nice. I'm sure that'll be really hot by the time the flesh is melted there. Yeah. Getting towards the business end of the game now, I feel, and it's been great. You know, the sort of aim of the game is to like save people. And it kind of goes against the film, really, because if you've seen the films, most people die in the films, right? There's not many people that survive Jigsaw's games, and certainly not many of them like I seem to be doing, or helping other people. But funny, a lot of the people you save end up dying anyway, in quite funny sort of ways. I don't want to give away too many spoilers for anyone interested in playing, but this game is brilliant, man. I'm really enjoying it, and yeah, it's quite a bit of a throwback, really, because I haven't seen the films in quite a few years now, and it's just kind of like a throwback, really, to those good times of just watching those films. Really, some of them are quite cringy, really, but I weirdly still enjoyed them, you know. So yeah, let's get back into it. Well, that was awesome. Looks like there's alternate endings on this, so I'll probably have to check what the other endings were like. But yeah, I'll go into a sort of summary of what I think of this game, and yeah, delighted to finally complete my first PlayStation 3 game, and I've really enjoyed this one. So let's get into a summary of the game then. Get in there, come on. Right then guys, beat my first ever PlayStation 3 game, Saw. I want to try and summarise this very quickly because this video is going to be very long if I don't. I'm going to try and keep it under a minute, so let's get into it. I thought this was a really good game, very fun, keeps you on your toes, quite scary, quite chilling at times, especially playing at night in the dark like I was at times. And yeah, I thought it was really good. Normally these games that film related are normally just a cheap cash grab. Definitely not the case with this. It was fun. It's not solely based on a single film. It's like a sort of new story in its own, but obviously surrounding the real Jigsaw. The guy who voices Kramer's reprised his role, so it feels authentic. It's really nice and chilling feeling. The graphics hold up really well for a PlayStation 3 game. Obviously it's HD. I think it works well in the third person mode, and it's just like the backdrop, the whole setting of the whole game. It's really chilling and sets up the tone for a sort of spooky and enjoyable experience. If I did have one criticism, I'd say that some of the puzzles are a little bit repetitive. It's the same kind of puzzles in rotation throughout the game, but the storyline progresses in a good way. It brings positive features from Resident Evil, sort of like the puzzle solving element, the sort of scary nature of the game, but it's obviously not surrounded by zombies. It's obviously humans and you know, a real life torture sort of experience. But essentially the genre is, I guess you could say, survival horror, so it's similar in many ways. And yeah, just a real fun experience. I don't believe the game rated all that well. Definitely not the case with me. I had a very pleasant experience with it. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. I'm not going to say it's perfect, because it's certainly not. The game had a decent amount of length to it. I'd probably say I've spent about 10 to 12 hours on this, and that's probably more than enough. You know, I don't want a 100-hour game. A game of this size is absolutely perfect. There is a sequel, Saw 2, so I'm looking forward to playing that at some point, and I'll bring that to the channel as well. Strongly recommend this game. Solid 8 out of 10. I've really enjoyed it. Now that that's out the way, I'm going to head back down to CEX in Worcester and see if I can pick up that Dynasty Warriors 9 that I left behind earlier in the video. So let's get down to CEX then and see what's there. Ah, typical. Find the Hobbit in the wild, but I've already bought this online. It'll be coming up on a future episode. I paid £12.55 online for a brand new and sealed copy, £10 for second hand in nice condition. I don't mind paying a bit extra for brand new. But yes, fortunately the Dynasty Warriors 9 is still here. Yeah, in Worcester they keep their retro behind the till, which is not ideal. I much prefer when it's in a cabinet where you can view it. But some nice Sega Dreamcast, Sega Saturn, really nice boxed N64 games there. Super Nintendo, NES, Sega Mega Drive, PS1. Got quite a good selection of retro all in all. And just like that, guys, we are back from Worcester CEX. Now the reason why I went back there was to go and pick up that Dynasty Warriors 9 that you would have seen earlier in the video. Yes, it was a German copy, but I've been speaking to collectors who are collecting the PS4 hits, and they mentioned that this is actually a rare title across Europe, so it's worth grabbing. And for £6, I don't think I'm going to lose my money. You know, when I eventually come across an English copy, which I'll keep hunting down, I'll eventually be able to sell this one on and somebody will have it for £6 plus postage at least, so I'll at least make my money back, if not hopefully make a few pounds on it to go towards another game. But yeah, unfortunately it is German, but it is English on the spine, so it's not a bad placeholder. And yeah, it just goes to show that unfortunately these foreign games are infiltrating our system, but you know, collectors are still buying the foreign version, so it shouldn't be a problem moving this on because it is rare. Unfortunately, the Yakuza 0, which I said I was going to wait until I had a voucher for, has now sold. So it just goes to show that people are picking up the PS4 hits all over the place, really. People are collecting them, and there's no guarantees that they'll be there when you go back. So in waiting for a voucher, I've lapsed, I've been caught napping, and that's now sold. So I'm going to have to wait to see another one and use my voucher when and if the time comes. Unfortunately, it was dry and everything else, no new Essentials games I needed, but I did grab the Dark Souls at the weekend earlier in this video, so can't complain too much there. So yeah, delighted to be able to pick this one up at least, and we're going to wrap up this video now. It's been quite a long one, I know. Thanks for sticking with me if you've been here all the while. Just to say that the next video coming is going to be another episode of Mission N64239, and we're going to go for completing and reviewing Chameleon Twist. I forget which episode we're up to now. I think we might be up to episode 14. So I'll beat this and get this episode together as the next episode of Mission N64239. But I am going to carry on doing a vlog style video. So I'll touch base on talking around this, as well as my collecting journey with the hits and essentials journey as well. So hopefully there'll be 2 videos next week, but we'll see. It all depends on timing and how much time I've got and how long it takes to beat this game as well. But yeah, this will be coming next, episode 14, Chameleon Twist. So yeah, that about does it for this week. If you've made it this far, very much appreciated. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you tuning in as always. If you like this video, please whack a thumbs up. It really helps me out. It pushes me into Facebook's algorithm. If you've got any comments on any of the games I've picked up or on the Saw game that I've completed on this episode, let me know. Light up the comment section. If you're new to the channel or a returning viewer and you're not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Come aboard, come along for this journey. Can I complete and review all 239 UK PAL N64 games? Can I complete the PS3 Essentials full PAL library? Can I collect all the PlayStation 4 hits? Come along for the journey, get subscribing. Let's build up a community and see if I can get this all done. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you on the next one.